It was a brutal beep, brother.
I like to call it a girthy beep.
A girthy beep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Sam out the asshole.
Wanted to get off girthy.
It fits.
It does.
Well, I mean,
Sometimes it might struggle a little bit. You know, maybe some woo.
We'll get to that in a moment. Anyways, welcome back. As always, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like this kind of content. We appreciate everybody who's been watching lately, growing us on both TikTok and YouTube. We've been growing like crazy. As of recording this, we just surpassed 15K on TikTok.
Yes, we did. So thank you very much.
And we are climbing our way up to I believe 1.2K on YouTube.
Yep. Getting there.
Thank you for that. So if you haven't yet, you just saw this come across your feed and you're like, who the hell are these two dudes reading some Reddit stories to us, or talking in a podcast, or reading some fucked up stories to us, and you like that kind of shit, subscribe.
Click the button.
Do it.
Or else.
Now, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to somebody who is a Lousy listener who has subscribed, who watches us. I want to give a shout out to Izzy Fizzy 6785 on our last Ham of the Asshole video, Crazy X's 2. You commented, "I could not be happier than right now. Just as I've woken up and I'm looking for a good video, here you two are." Thank you.
We're part of your morning routine.
It warms my heart.
Yep. We're like right next to the can of Folgers.
This is some lousy fucking coffee, but fuck it, we'll have some. Nah, we appreciate that. We greatly appreciate everybody who watches. We thank everybody who takes the time to truly sit through these videos. It still baffles us all the time that people watch our show, to be honest with you.
Some fucking reason.
You're still here, and we thank you for that. But we need to jump on into this thing. Before we do, Sam.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Today, we were talking about, well, actually, let me go back for a sec. If you went and watched Thursday's episode of Today I Fucked Up.
Yep, our weekly Tifu Digest.
Or our weekly Tifu Digest, as Joe likes to put it. It was a bit horny. So that inspired us. And we decided to get horny. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Breaked up in the chat.
Full disclosure, he's rock hard.
No. Especially not after that last one. Like, that last one was rough. Go back and watch it. A raging clue this way. Anyway. So we decided to talk. We kind of done this before. We did a Not Safe for Work episode. I guess this one technically might be along those lines, but it's about sex. Not beating around the bush. Yep.
We're all adults. And if you're not an adult, you should probably click off this video.
Yeah, don't watch this.
Where are your parents? Tell them to watch instead.
He's watching porn right now, Mom and Dad.
Be a great time to like have the soundboard ready with Pornhub music.
Yeah. The boom.
Everybody's throwing their phones. No!
Yeah. They're turning us down vigorously.
But yes, today is all about sex.
Yep.
Yes, we gained inspiration from that Tifu episode. If you have not watched it yet, definitely go watch it after this video, because you will have yourself in stitches watching that video. It was fun. It was fun to record, and honestly, those stories had us fucking rolling. So, without further ado, y'all know what it is.
Yes. Almost forgot.
Count it off.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
My mind said throw paper. My mind said throw paper.
You threw paper last time?
No, I threw scissors last time.
No, you threw paper. Pretty sure. Let us know in the comments. Anyway.
Yeah.
All that matters, I won. He sucks. Let's move on.
Wow. Okay. All right, dude. Jesus. All right. Fucking take the fucking first story.
So,
I swear.
am I the asshole for telling my neighbors to stop having such rampant sex? I live in a semi-detached house with 4 housemates. We've never got on particularly well with our neighbors, as they seem to be quite isolated, and we're quite a lot younger than them. I'm 21, and they must be in their early 40s. We moved in last September, and at least 3 nights a week they have what can only be described as the most disturbing intercourse I have ever had. Their bedroom wall is on the other side of mine, so I can hear everything. Like, absolutely everything. The noises sound animalistic, like it's concerning. I'm all for sex positivity, but it lasts for hours. Nice. Last night, I ran into the woman as we were both going to the shop at the same time. She complained about the noise we were making in our house. We have quiet music on sometimes and may move around, but there's 5 of us. It wound me up a bit, so I said, I will when you stop the exorcism ritual you have going on next door. Apparently, this offended her a little. The man, I assume is her husband, knocked on our door this morning to tell us they'll be calling the police next time we make too much noise, which we never do, and that we're a bunch of assholes for listening to them have sex. Am I the asshole? Exorcism is a great way to put it.
Release the demons!
I
hate this. I hate this so much. Everyone sucks.
I want to say not the asshole so much.
Yeah.
But the only thing that makes OP here go to an asshole status is for the comeback. As hilarious as it is, that's an escalation.
Yep.
Like if you're tight with your neighbors, that might be funny, you know.
Facts.
But the fact that that's like the first time you've really talked to her, and then she's an asshole for sure for complaining, but yeah, I hate that. Like it's a soft everyone sucks, because it's not like you said anything terrible, but I would have just left it.
I think back to our neighbors episode, the one with the AC unit,
mm-hmm.
and how they were like immediately like, hey, I don't know what's making that noise, but if you wouldn't mind, like, you know, figuring it out. Like, that's what should have happened. Like, hey, just a heads up. I know we're cool, like y'all are neighbors and us, we're neighbors of y'all and whatnot, but we can hear you. we put the winky away.
Yeah. Find another room to bang in.
Yeah, like fucking break the couch. Like, damn. Like,
yep.
Like I agree with you. As funny as the comeback was, because that's a funny fucking comeback.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Now it's escalated to the point where the husband's like, all right, I'm gonna call the police next time y'all fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Like, you messed with the man's sex time, he's gonna get angry. But no, like it as much as I want to say not the asshole, everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks.
Yeah.
Reddit though.
But
they said not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Which I get it. Like I said, I would say not the asshole were it not for the comeback. Everybody here is probably just thinking, oh, quirky comeback. Awesome. Not the asshole. It's not really a super asshole thing to do, but it is an escalation if it's with your neighbor.
Yep.
Let's read some comments here. First one up, obvious not the asshole. What you said to that woman was hilarious and probably the best way you could bring up their stupidly loud / long sexual encounters.
Man's just got endurance.
Apparently. His dick ain't broke.
Yo. His name's Big Dick Danny. Right beneath that, someone commented r/username checks out. I mean, like, I agree that what was said was hilarious and probably the best way you could have brought it up, but at the same time, like, it's gonna make you an asshole because of how you brought it up. Like, you retorted in an ill manner because you got mad they brought up you being loud. Here's the part that I don't like. It's posts like this, right? The whole story's great. The beginning of the story explains why we should be upset with the person OP is writing about, right? It's not until the last little bit where we get that nugget of information going, oh, they can hear you too. Oh, well, guess what? You left that out, asshole. Like, you know, like, granted, they said we have quiet music on sometimes and may move around, but there's 5 of us. That doesn't make a fucking difference. Just because, you know, Danny and fucking Deborah are beating uglies together until the fucking break of dawn doesn't give you the fucking right to be just as fucking loud.
I don't think that they're being that loud though, based off of what
but they're
saying,
making enough noise for them to hear.
Yeah.
Now you could blame this on paper thin walls in the apartment. That's a fair thing.
Yeah. That's where we would need more context on that, you know, because like for example, there was the only apartment my wife and I lived together in. There was a neighbor above, because we were on the ground floor, that they had like a 2-year-old, I think, something like that. Yeah. That motherfucker is zooming all the time. Like, he is running back and forth, pushing whatever, pots and pans. We let that stuff go. Because, like, you know, it's whatever, doesn't really bother us. And it's usually done by the time we're going to sleep, you know, so, like, not really a big deal. I can hear that, like, that's just a type of noise. Or, you know, just, like, shifting things around. I'm not expecting it to be a completely quiet environment, where some people have that expectation, you know?
Yeah.
So
I don't like, in any apartments we've had, I haven't had that expectation where I wanted to be completely quiet. Yeah. Hell, I think back to the first apartment you and I lived in when we were basically the shelter, where we had like 7 people living with us at one point in a 2-bedroom apartment. Figure that shit out. But it was nothing for us to be bumping some music or playing loud video games or being goofy. And the thing was, we had at least established a rapport with our neighbors of like, hey, if we're too loud, come tell us.
Yeah.
So if we heard that,
2 neighbors to really deal with. We were super fortunate because it was 2 on the bottom, 2. So it was 8 in total apartments, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom.
Yep.
We're on the top. The one directly next to us on the top was a Mormon house for the missionaries, and they got swapped out every 6 weeks.
Yo, they knew how to fucking party.
Some of them. There were some that would party, and then there were some that they were interesting, we'll say the least. And then the only other one we had to deal with wasn't even deal with because he was over at our place, where we were over at his all the time, was Cody across the hall. There's nobody on the bottom floor at all.
No, there was one right beneath him.
I think there was one. It was a pretty short amount of time.
I remember they were there when we moved out. They were 100% there when we moved out. I met them when we moved out.
Gotcha.
But no, but that's the thing though, is even with us having that good rapport with the people around us, even if they were hanging out with us, like, I imagine if there's a moment when they need to have some quiet time, whether they have family over, maybe they have a special significant other over, whatever they're doing, like, hey guys, y'all being a little loud. Okay, yeah, not a problem. But the same thing, if they were being loud, we could go and be like, hey, I need to sleep, you know, like, or whatever, like, you being a little loud. Like, having that rapport with your neighbors is big. If you don't take that step to have that rapport with your neighbors, though, and you're going to hit them with a statement like this, that's it.
I do remember. You remember the time? I think you were there. We were. This is at our second apartment when we were having the Nerf fight. I don't know if you were there or not. There's a point where we were having a Nerf war, like flipped over the couch, like everything. So, and that time we were on the 3rd floor, and so there was somebody below us. And that guy, it was a guy who was like maybe a little bit older than us at the time. He came up and knocked, and he was like, hey, want to check everything all right? You guys are being a little loud, and you're hearing a lot of stomping and banging. And like, and we opened the door to the Nerf gun, and he was like, but I think that kind of explains it. I was like, yeah, we're having a really badass Nerf fight right now. Sorry about that. We'll keep it down. And he was like, no, it's cool. Just try not to like bang around a bunch. You can keep doing the fight if you want. And I was like, you want to join? And he actually like shot somebody.
Now, I remember you telling me that. I think I was at work.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was at work at that time, and when I came home, you were just like, the place was in fucking disarray, and I was just like,
yeah.
The fuck happened here?
Like, yeah, couch got flipped over, table was flipped over for cover. Like, it was a whole thing. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think that we both can agree. As much as we don't want to, everyone sucks here.
Yep.
I think we've wrung this rag dry.
Yep.
The towel is fresh and ready for another one.
I agree.
Onward and upward.
Next.
Am I the asshole for not explaining why I didn't want sex on a 4th date? Okay, so am I the asshole? So I, 28 female, met a guy, 35 male. We really got on. He was such a gentleman. Then on our 4th date, we decided to have a marathon of Game of Thrones. Interesting way to type that. Game of Thrones in preparation for season 8.
Ooh.
So I went to his house for the first time. We ended up falling asleep on the sofa. So we went to the bed. It was pretty late and I was exhausted. And I just really didn't want sex. Like, really didn't want sex. So I figured when we went to bed and I simply went to sleep, he would have figured I didn't want sex, right? He woke me up about an hour later, really pissed off, saying, do you have a rule or something? Because if you do, I should know about it. Or should I know about it? If you do, I should know about it? Question mark. You have made me feel really shit and blown my self-esteem completely. So I told him I just wasn't ready. And he really didn't appreciate me saying this. Apparently, I should have said before the date. Like, seriously? Is it a rule to decide before a date if you are going to have sex or not? I'm trying to explain to him before the date I hadn't ruled out sex altogether. I was just going to see how we got on and where the night led. I told him it was all a bit odd that he got angry about it, but he was fuming. Either way, roll on watching season 8 alone. Damn. Edit. Man. I told him beforehand that I was nervous about dating and wanted to take the whole process slow. He was fine with this and told me we can go as slow as needs be.
With that edit, that's big.
Yeah.
I mean, even before that, there's no rule. You should definitely talk to them about the things that you're comfortable talking to them about. You don't necessarily have to.
Yeah.
And the fact that he like woke you up like that is a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not getting good vibes from that.
I'm gonna say something that might be a little contradictory.
Surprise.
But I'm curious to see what the Lousy listeners think. If you wouldn't mind putting a comment down below on your thoughts of what I'm about to say here. I don't disagree. You know, I don't disagree with them making the decision to not have sex. I want that to be clear and evident right now. Like you have a right to say what you do with your body, period. What you put in it, what you put it in, whatever that may be, you have the right to say what you do and do not do with that body. However, I do believe that when it comes to dating, and I'm not going to make you do the bit here, I do believe that when it comes to dating, especially if this is a situation where you're on the 4th date and there's a potential for this to continue into an actual legitimate relationship, because there is a difference between dating and a relationship. If you see the potential for this continue to a relationship, you should definitely have that conversation about where you're at. Now, she did say, I told in the edit, I told him beforehand that I was nervous about dating. Good. You explained that.
Yep.
and wanted to take the whole process slow. He was fine with this and told me we can go as slow as needs be. This is where the communication comes to play.
Yeah.
You've already told him you need to take it slow. That's good. I feel like we might be missing a little context here. Either this dude is a psychopath.
Probably.
Or there was a mixed signal somewhere that you didn't talk about. Because those do happen. I'm not saying that this is a bad scenario all around. I'm not saying that OP's an asshole by any means. What I am saying is, especially with someone, if you're on the fourth date, like you're catching vibes from someone, like, okay, this is person I can continue dating at this point. Cool. Again, unless this dude's a total psychopath and was just like, I demand sex, like,
yeah.
Something here seems like maybe there was a signal given to him of, so you're saying there's a chance?
Well,
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
And then by the end of the night, you just decided to go to bed, and now he's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't agree with him waking you up like that. I think that's bogus. I think that could have waited till the morning. Dudes, control your fucking, wieners.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought. Like, I feel like there's missing context here.
Yeah, I think that the mixed signals probably, because it is a little bit unorthodox to have somebody that you're dating sleep in your bed with you at the same time. Instead of like you taking his bed and then he take the couch kind of thing, So like that's the only thing that's got me a little bit up. Like that's by no means like hey, if I'm in this, fucking 5 by 7 foot area, this is sex time, but that's usually in our society today an indication of such, right?
Well, keep in mind when this was posted.
Even 6 years ago wasn't that long ago. I would have said
a lot's happened in 6 years, brother.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't like even back then that would have been the usual thing. Like,
okay,
I don't think that's any different from now to even back in like the 50s. So 6 years ago is not going to make any difference at all.
I'll give you that. Okay, yeah.
The biggest tragedy in all of this post, what is the hope for season 8 of Game of Thrones, and then seeing that get so fucking obliterated.
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but God, it was up there.
Yeah. I stand on the hill of I feel like there's missing context.
Yeah.
I wouldn't die on this hill by any means.
Yeah.
But I do stand on this hill because I'm going to catch hell for saying this. I know I am. I'm going to catch hell for saying this.
Glory, glory. What a hell of a way to die.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Fuck. Joe's thoughts are his own and do not represent mine.
Ladies, I need y'all to know something. Y'all are not above communication. Y'all are also not above, I'm really trying to figure out how to say this. Y'all are not above communication. When you're dating someone, hell, when you're married to someone, that communication needs to be happening at all times. No.
Yep.
It is not concrete that you have to have sex with your partner every fucking day of every year of for eternity. But if there is the potential, because I think we can all agree in fairness here, that this feels like there was some sort of signal given of we might be getting dirty tonight. Like, you got to be clear and concise.
Yeah.
You just have to be. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if he had had a better reaction and then just simply communicated it like the next day, you're like, hey, just want to see where we're at. I know you said you want to take it slow. I had seen some signals that I thought was going to be that, and apparently it wasn't. That's totally fine. I'm not, rushing into it. But, this is what I thought. Where are you at on this? That's a proper way to fucking talk about it. But the fact that he's like, hey, why are we fucking right now? Like that is where he became an asshole. But if he had talked that way, then at that point it might have been a totally different conversation,
I just realized something. Not to cut you off. Last full paragraph. Like, seriously, is it a rule to decide before a date if you are going to have sex or not? I'm trying to explain to him before the date I hadn't ruled out sex altogether. I was just going to see how we got on and where the night led. So what is it? Because
he still shouldn't be acting like that. That's not an excuse.
I'm not saying that's an excuse. I just realized that to this point of like, okay, so you told him you were feeling out the night to see where it could go. So that adds more to my wonder of, is there missing context that you gave him that signal? Yeah. And it could be any fucking signal. Like, let's all be adults here. Like, you could have given him that fucking like smile or fucking shake your ass at him or whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. We're all adults. Figure your shit out. But did you do that and then go, no? I'm not. And again, I don't want to pin OP as the villain here. I'm not trying to paint that picture. I'm just simply saying I feel like for this story in particular, there's that hint of context missing that's making the OP sound way better in this scenario. However, that does not, and I agree with Sam on this, that does not give motherfucker the right to treat her the way he did.
No. Yeah, he immediately went to top level asshole with that move. He could have definitely navigated that a lot better. So
we have to make our verdict here.
Yeah, I think I'm still going to go not the asshole. Because, I mean, the only context we really have to go on is the post, right? I feel like there's enough in there to at least make an initial reaction. Of course, we're not judging their entire life or anything, but it's given me enough, at least based off of his reaction, to say not the asshole in this scenario. Now, if she had like brought sex toys and be like, we might use these tonight, and then, just like went to sleep, then
that'd be fucking ruthless.
That's fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, so officially for me, not the asshole. So I was like, I want to be contrarian. No, I'm just kidding.
Now I'm reading this again. There's key details that are sticking out to me. So I'm gonna bullet point these out, and then I'll give my verdict at the end here. First thing, dude's 35, shouldn't be acting like a fucking child, period. You should know how to communicate better than that. Second thing, this is the first time that she was at his house. First time. Yeah. 4 dates, first time. How many times has he been over to her house? That's something I would like to know. To give us some context of how deep this relationship is. Okay? Third thing, they fell asleep on the sofa together. I think we can all justify this by saying, how did you fall asleep on the sofa together? Were you cuddling? Were you being all romantic and shit? Was there potential for you to be giving him that signal then? Not saying that's the case, just asking questions. They then went to bed. It was pretty late, and she was exhausted, so she didn't want to have sex, period. She says, so I figured when we went to bed and I simply went to sleep, he would have figured I didn't want sex, right? That right there. I'm not trying to read into this, but that right there gives me a key indicator of like, so you told him or showed him at some point there was a chance. And then you assumed when you went to bed that he would pick up on that you weren't doing it tonight. That's what I'm getting at. That's the part I'm getting at, because I feel like we're missing that little bit of context. With that being said, right? I can only base it on the context we have. You and I have gone round and round on that before, and we've always established that we cannot fabricate a story in our heads that would maybe add detail to the story in some case. I have to vote not the asshole. However, there's a level in me that goes, did you lead him on? Doesn't justify his actions. Let's make that very clear before you crucify me in the comments. Does not justify his actions. He should be a grown-ass adult. He shouldn't be acting like he did, period. End of story. Done. But did you lead him on? If you did, that's a dick move. Everyone sucks. Because we don't have that context, I'm going to vote not the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone else.
Yeah, and everyone else said not the asshole as well.
Yeah.
I don't think with the context provided, there's a way to accurately say asshole or for OP.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think asshole is on the table at all.
Yeah, maybe and everyone sucks.
Correct.
But yeah, he did not handle that well. Like I get having some blue balls, man, but goddamn, like
fucking go rub and tug one out, dude.
Also, can we say
clarity
RIP?
is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, really. And can we say RIP to fucking Game of Thrones season 8? Like that shit was. This is from 6 years ago. This was a while ago. I didn't realize I was 6 years ago.
So I'm gonna say this as someone who binge watched all of Game of Thrones in one time.
Yeah.
Without seeing anything beforehand. Because I was one of the people who waited until after the entire thing was done to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Season 8 wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Like it could have been. The thing is, like, what they were setting up was so much bigger. And then they were like, nope, one more season. Let's fucking wrap this shit up right now. Like, you know. Yeah.
The two gripes that I have for the ending of the final thing, I'd say the last, 3 seasons? 2 seasons? When did Jon Snow die? Season 7?
No, he dies way earlier on. Like season 3, season 4.
Okay, yeah, but then he gets brought back to life.
Yeah.
So the only thing I have a problem with is we never got to figure out why the fuck he was brought back. There was never a clear indicator as to why he was brought back.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was a bullshit cop-out in the last 10 minutes of that fucking thing when we see everybody dispersing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I mean, like, I get why he killed Daenerys. I get it. But all of a sudden, we just basically start back at the beginning. Like,
yeah, just reverted so quickly to, Targaryen's gonna Targaryen. Anyway, we can have we need to stop right now before we go too far into it. Yes. Him and I have a tendency to just fucking go. So
that may be a podcast episode. Let us know in the comments if you want to see that.
Maybe, especially, have you been watching House of the Dragon?
No, I need to catch up on that.
Yeah. So yeah, comments.
Yes, comments. First one here says,
go ahead. After you. I insist.
I was going to say age before beauty, but I'm older than you. Fuck.
Got you, bitch.
Not the asshole. Absolutely, positively. Do not go on another date with that asshole. I agree. Don't go on another date with him.
Yeah. If he's going to act like that, no, go.
Yeah, he's acting like a fucking man-child. Kick that dude to the curb.
Yep. He can rub one out in the bathroom if he really needs to.
Oh, my God.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I think we're all in agreement on that. Like, this dude handled this horribly. There's no justification for how he acted, period.
Yep. Next one, not the asshole. LMAO, what a creep. You never owe a reason for not wanting to have sex with someone. They need to just accept that. Also, his "you totally ruined my self-esteem" rant is hilarious. How insecure, honestly.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time on this one.
Yep. We're going to move on.
Time to move on. I would love to see an update on that personally, but I know we'll never get one because the relationship's done.
Yeah.
So I believe it is your turn, good buddy.
'Tis indeed. Am I the asshole for contradicting my stepmother and sitting down with my sister to talk about sex? On mobile, so sorry for formatting. This is on my father's side. He remarried, had a daughter with my stepmom. I've known her for 13 years and my stepsister is 12. I'm 21, male. For the past few years, since my sister was 9 or so, my stepmom has told her that sex is not enjoyable, that it will hurt, and it will always hurt, showing it in such a negative light. Now, I know everyone is different in how their body reacts, but I didn't feel like it was right to scare her like this, but I let it go since I felt it wasn't my responsibility. Now she's 12 and starting to develop more. I know boys and all of that will be coming soon, and my mom keeps telling her the same thing, that sex is horrible and painful and so on. I decided enough was enough. I sat down with my sister a bit after and told her the truth. That sex does hurt for the first time for a woman, and it may hurt a bit after too. I told her there's a right way and a wrong way to have sex, and for the first time, it's not something that should be rushed. I didn't go into too much detail and encourage her to read up on some things or ask if she has questions. It's an awkward time for her, but I encourage her to be well informed. I also stress that sex isn't something that she should be engaging in at her age and not for a while. That she's young and most guys will say whatever to have sex at her age and for a while longer. Finishing with telling her to always be smart and be careful. Well, it didn't take long for my talk to reach the ears of my stepmom, who was not at all happy. She said I'm telling my sister lies, and it's not my place to talk about that stuff with her. My dad didn't take a side, as usual, which is why I come here to see if I did step over my line. I don't live in that house and only visit when I have the time.
W, big brother. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Yeah, that's... Part of me at first was like, well, other people shouldn't parent my kid, kind of thing we've talked about before. But at the same time, that's family. If your mom's being an asshole, then fuck her.
I mean, he stayed out of it as long as he could. Yeah. And honestly, the age of 12 is a great time to really start having that conversation. Yep. Not in the intent of blossoming them into a would-be adult. No, but he's going the right way of saying like, hey, look, no, what she's saying is wrong, but you need to learn about yourself, learn about the human anatomy, and hold off for a long fucking time.
Yep.
Like, he's not telling her to go out there and start, being promiscuous. He's being very clear and concise of like, look, the human body is a complex thing, but that does not mean you need to be worried about that right now. You need to be like, I'll tell you, the correct things, but you need to be focused on other things. Just be smart about yourself and take care of yourself in those situations.
Yeah.
Like, fantastic. Yeah. Because that's the thing that everyone tells you, especially in today's day and age with internet access. If you don't tell your kids the truth and actually teach them, they will go find it themselves.
And then potentially resent you after the fact for lying to them their entire childhood.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Easy, open, shut after our long conversation.
Yeah. We need to make it some time. Reddit agrees, by the way.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Not the asshole.
Shit.
I mean, that should have been obvious, of course, but.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, not the asshole. I would have been amazed if they were like, asshole.
Would you, though? It's Reddit.
In this context, I would be. Yeah.
Fair. First comment here, not the asshole. Except that sex doesn't have to hurt the first time. Everything you said was age appropriate. Listening to your stepmom will give your sister serious problems around sex later on in life. Yep. Facts.
See, next one here, not the asshole. And I'm wondering if the mom has vaginismus because she accused you of lying. If sex always hurts for her and she's either got some type of mental illness or has remained purposefully ignorant about how sex is supposed to be, it's not hard to see why she would tell her daughter that. It's a fair point. I didn't realize it was called vaginismus. But
I didn't either.
It's kind of along the lines of like the pajimbus fucking shit.
Am I onto something here? Oh, wait. Hold up. So go down to the next comment, the third one down. You see Stag Almighty.
Yeah.
I'll read this real quick. Not the asshole. The lies your stepmom is telling her to scare are not going to help her at all. IMO, you did the right thing telling your sister the truth. Also, isn't this one of the ways women develop vaginismus? Just beneath that, someone deleted their account, but they commented saying, TMI, but I have vaginismus. It is, I hope we're pronouncing this correctly. It is debilitating, and I cannot even use a tampon at the age of 26.
Damn.
Trigger warning for anybody listening. 3, 2, 1. I was conditioned to believe sex would be agonizing, which rendered me unable to properly have vaginal sex. A traumatic pap smear, and surviving sexual abuse further compounded the issue. I'm glad I did the trigger warning. But the root was always hearing, this will cause significant pain in your most private, sensitive body part. OP stepmother is potentially doing serious damage. I'm going to have to spend thousands of dollars on a several day-long program where I get Botox in my vagina, so just so I can hopefully get routine medical exams, have vaginal sex, etc., all because of this kind of rhetoric.
Damn.
If that doesn't fucking tell you, dude, like, this is key indicator.
Yep.
Everyone goes through shit every single day. Understand that just because you ain't going through it doesn't mean someone isn't. Holy shit.
Yeah. Hope they get better, man. That's rough.
Seriously.
But
all right.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for this one.
Yep.
On to the last one.
This me? Yes, it's me.
This is you. Yep. Because you lost it. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, God.
Just got to remind you.
Me.
Yep.
Am I the asshole for banning my brother-in-law from my house after he had sex in my bed? Okay. My 36 male wife, 30, has a younger brother who recently moved to the city where we live to go to university. He rents a place with some friends, lives fairly close to us, and we see each other often. I've known him since he was 13. He's 19 now, and we get along very well. My wife and I went on holiday last month, and we were gone for about a month. Since we knew he had finals and would probably appreciate some peace and quiet, we asked him to look after our place while we were gone. My wife said he can use whatever he wants, and she left him some extra money for food and whatnot. While we were gone, they talked on the phone, and he asked if his boyfriend can come over a couple of times a week, and my wife said, of course. They hung up. I asked her if he was coming over for dinner or a study date or to sleep over. She said she didn't ask, but what does it matter? Any one of those things is fine. I said it wasn't fine with all of it, in particular the sleeping over option, because my brother-in-law was sleeping in our bed and I didn't want him to have sex in it. She laughed at me and said that she's sure her brother doesn't mind sleeping in the bed we had sex in, so what's the problem? We had a huge fight. I wanted to call him to check, but she told me that he's doing us a favor and to leave him alone. When we got back and I was left alone with my brother-in-law, I asked him how his study dates with his boyfriend were going, and he said fine. So I asked if that was all they did. He asked what I mean, and I said, well, you know, and vroom. And he
Brother.
said, so he said, well, he is my boyfriend. So yeah, you know, I was getting pretty angry at this point, and I just asked, in my bed? I guess he could see I was getting mad. So he said he was uncomfortable talking about it. At this point, I lost it. He was the one that's uncomfortable. That's my fucking bed and his boyfriend's ass, sweat, and semen. I started shouting at him, and my wife came and started shouting at me, and I just told him that he disrespected us and to get the fuck out, and that I don't want to see him in my house again. He said he washed and replaced the bed linen before we got back, but that only made me angrier. What about the fucking mattress and the pillows? He couldn't have gone back to his place to fuck? He told me I was an insane cunt and left. I've slept on the couch of my own volition since then, and my wife is furious with me. Am I really the asshole? No. I feel like you and I are about to disagree here.
I'm torn myself.
Document this. First time he's torn and I'm not. What are you torn on? I got to hear this. Give me your thought process.
I'm just, I guess I just don't really see it as much of a big deal. So, I mean, it's not like they were like directly on the mattress itself, you know, like typically there's sheets that can be washed pretty easily. Like, I get it's a violation of his space. Like, he wants that to not have anybody else doing stuff in. But at the same time, when you let a 19-year-old college kid come over and sleep in your bed that has a significant other, there should be at least some sort of expectation of they're probably going to try to do some shit because they're alone. You know, I'm not saying that it's right to do so, but I don't know.
I'm letting you get your thought out before I counter you.
I'll talk. I need to think.
That's OP's bedroom.
Yeah.
That's OP's bed. OP's
Yeah.
pillows. OP's wife's pillows. OP's and wife's linens. Right? That's the room where you go to be most vulnerable most times. To say that it should be expected, does that make sense of what you said? That there's a genuine, like, it should be expected that the 19-year-old brother-in-law who's dating someone would probably have their, especially if they're coming over to hang out, it's likely they're going to bang. Let's not forget, his dorm, his apartment, the dorm that he's staying in is right down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to go fuck your boyfriend for a couple hours and then come back. The house is going to be standing just fine when you come back in a couple hours.
Can I counter with something real quick on that particular subject?
Sure.
Most dorms, you have a roommate. And so when you are suddenly given the chance, oh, I can be by myself with that significant other in a place that, you know, is comfortable. It's, you know, family run and owned and operated, you know, then, you know, like going back to the dorm, I don't think is really an argument that you can make here in that scenario, you know, like, yeah, you probably should do that. But like, I'm thinking in the mind of a dumb 19-year-old kid, you know,
a dumb, horny 19-year-old
exactly.
kid.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that what you're saying is evident. Yes, It's a dumb, horny 19-year-old who's just thinking with his dick, period. We have been there. We understand what those hormones feel like, right? But I'm speaking in the same vein as the 36-year-old homeowner who is pissed off that this 19-year-old did this. Also, I can get where he's also pissed off because it really feels like his wife's not listening to his like reasoning. It goes back to communication. I'm not going to do the fucking bit. We're going to move past the bit for a moment here. I'm just going to say this. When it comes to you and your wife talking, you have to have a level of communication. I think it's important and evident to hear whether it is the wife or the husband or however your partnership's set up. If your partner is saying, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, there should be a full stop.
Yeah.
There should be a full stop and go, okay, I hear you. What are you not comfortable with? Okay, let's hear this out. Let's find a logical understanding here. I want you to feel comfortable. What would make you comfortable here? Okay, making sure he doesn't fuck in the house. Got it. Yeah. But the wife said, fuck all that. I said it was okay, so you should be okay with it.
Yeah.
So already,
I get that part.
Strike one. He's pissed off. I feel that. If my wife were to do that to me, I'd be pissed off too. If my wife was like, nope, I said it's okay, so fuck you, get over it. She didn't say fuck you, but you see what I'm saying? It's the same mentality. So you get over it because I said it's okay. Well, yeah, that's gonna start a fucking fight. Now, let's fast forward. Your wife's already told you to get over it. You're pissed off about that. Your brain's working overtime when your brother-in-law's around now because you're going, did you fuck in my bed? So you ask him, he comes clean, but then immediately was like, I don't want to have this conversation. You shouldn't have fucking done it.
I mean, like, I'm sure he's probably not expecting to have to, you know? Like,
fair. But I see where you're coming from in the sense of like, you know, horny 19-year-old. Okay, well, I'm going to get some ass, you know, with my significant other.
Yeah.
We're going to bang it out wherever we can find time to do that. Sure. But to that same level, you can't take away the anger of OP.
Yeah.
Because it's still disrespectful. It's still his space. It's his bed. Like, it was a little bit of overkill talking about like all that ass, sweat, and semen. Like, I would have done. Like, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
But here's the thing is like OP's pissed off already.
Yeah.
And now OP feels even more disrespected about this after he already voiced his concern for them doing that before they did it. This could have all been resolved back in the conversation with his wife.
Yeah.
Before the deed took place.
Oh, definitely. 100%. Yeah. And it should have been. That's the stem of it all, for sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I don't see where OP is in the wrong.
I think everyone sucks here. And I mean everyone.
I got to hear this.
And I mean everyone. The boyfriend sucks, probably. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey! No. Wife sucks for basically telling husband, shut up. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Brother-in-law sucks for not owning up to, like, you know, for not wanting to have an adult conversation, basically. OP sucks for getting as angry as they did. Like, I understand that there was a communication breakdown with your wife, but then when, hang on, I just hit a button. I just want to make sure I didn't stop recording. But, you know, he, like I said, he's a 19-year-old kid. It can be hard to have those adult conversations. And the fact that OP is getting so mad over it, I get it, I guess, you know, in the scenario of like, you've disrespected me. But to basically like just immediately blow up like that, just to me, I think there would have been a better way to handle it. So I think everybody sucks in this scenario because it's blown up to the proportion that it has.
Yeah, I still got to stay not the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. And the main reason I have to, I agree on one thing. We've said this time and time again, anger does not get you anywhere.
No.
Period. Like communicating effectively will get you far above and beyond where you want to be. Anger will never get you there. So yeah, him being that angry, sure. However, are his feelings justified based on the sequence of events? Absolutely.
You can have valid feelings, but then to go and explode like that, that's two separate things.
Okay, let's look at it from this perspective then, because I want to reread this. Because you say him exploding, right? When we got back and I was left alone with my brother-in-law, I asked him how his study dates with his boyfriend were going, and he said fine. So I asked if that was all they did. He asked me what I mean, and I said, well, you know. So he said, well, he is my boyfriend. So yeah, you know. I was getting pretty angry at this point, and I just asked in my bed. I guess he could see I was getting mad, so he said he was uncomfortable talking about it. So the issue here for me is the trigger that caused him to go rampant was that when he asked the question, initially, brother-in-law was like, well, you know. And now all of a sudden, brother-in-law is like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah.
Because you realize you fucked up. I feel like, and I know we can't add context, but I feel like this conversation would have gone way different if the brother-in-law had fessed up in that moment and was like, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That little moment would have probably changed, at least in some degree, the outcome of OP's, outburst. Because now he goes, let me see. At this point, I lost it. He was the one that's uncomfortable. It's my fucking bed covered in his and his boyfriend's ass, sweat, and semen. I started shouting at him, and my wife came and started shouting at me. And I just told him that he disrespected us and to get the fuck out and that I don't want to see him in my house again. He said he washed and replaced the bed linen before we got back, but that only made me angrier. I don't think that should have made you angrier, but what about the fucking mattress and the pillows? Valid point. He really, he couldn't have gone back to his place to fuck? Fair question. He told me I was an insane cunt and left. I've slept on my couch of my own volition since then, and my wife is furious with me. I mean, like, that might be a step far, in my opinion. Like, go get the fucking mattress cleaned.
Yeah. Just get a fucking little green machine.
Or ask your brother-in-law to clean it.
Yeah. Or cover the cost of cleaning it if he has a part-time job or something like that.
It's a ways to make amends.
Yeah. Oh, it could have been handled way better. For sure.
But even still, I'm going to say not the asshole, because the reason being, and you and I agree on this, all of this could have been avoided had his wife not been an asshole.
Yeah.
And listened to what he was uncomfortable with. Everything else is collateral damage.
I wouldn't say everything else is collateral damage. I mean, just because somebody else is being an asshole to you doesn't give you an excuse necessarily. And we've talked about that plenty of times,
Yeah.
That's the one thing that, like, I don't necessarily think it's the biggest deals, but people need to talk about that shit. He wasn't comfortable the brother-in-law wasn't comfortable talking about it. Instead of losing it at that point, being like, well, yeah, it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. Yeah. This is what I think. I think it's disrespectful for people to fuck in my bed when I'm not there. I'm telling you, I feel disrespected by this. And then at that point, usually most people, instead of being like, you're an insane cunt, will go, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Sorry you feel that way. How can I help? That's usually, like, I feel like that's how it could have gone, even with the wife being an asshole. So that's why I have to say everyone sucks in that scenario, is because that does not give you the excuse to then start shouting, start, kicking them out, doing all that stuff. If you want to kick them out, it's your house. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but that's not going to help your marriage at all.
I mean, neither is your wife not listening to what you're saying.
No, and that's a whole separate conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
That they need to get some shit figured out.
I think this is one of the times you and I are gonna have to agree to disagree, because I think that just comes down to, like, I agree with you on the anger part, but the problem is I can also see why he got angry. He's already triggered by the fact that his wife wasn't fucking listening. This is her direct brother, like,
But that's still not his fault.
I mean, sure,
he
but
is
also,
not her.
Well, sure. But at the same time, okay, so let's do this real quick, because I kind of snuck into the first comment, and it actually makes a little bit of sense here to at least my thought process. It might help clarify some things.
Okay.
So I say not the asshole. You say everyone sucks. Reddit says not the asshole.
I'm contrarian for once.
Yeah. First comment here. I want to read this. Not the asshole. What is the matter with everyone in here? It is absolutely common courtesy to not fuck in someone else's bed. That's my point. That's where I'm coming from. Top level comments right now are going nuts that it should be made clear that sex isn't allowed, but am I going crazy to think the implicit assumption is sex isn't allowed unless otherwise stated? The problem here is we go back to the original the point of OP said this. The wife wouldn't let him say this.
Yep.
But to me, that concept is don't fuck in my bed, right? This isn't even a guest bed. It is the bed OP sleeps on, and he is perfectly within his rights to not want that, wash sheets or not. Also, doesn't sound like the wife even consulted him on those boundaries either. Edit. I'm sticking with my judgment for this actual scenario for the reasons listed, but OP, you are really shooting yourself in the foot with the homophobic comments about how straight sex in your bed would have been 50% better. What? Where is this?
A crazy comment. Before we get to that, I just solved the whole thing. This could have been solved lickety split. Does OP not have his brother-in-law's phone number? Can you not just shoot a text, be like, hey, hope you have a great stay?
Whoa. I disagree that you solved it, because the moment he pulls that number up and the moment he calls his brother-in-law, wife's gonna be pissed.
And it sounds like she's gonna be pissed either way. But if you really don't want somebody fucking in your bed, you probably have his phone number. Just shoot him a text. Be like, hey, hope you have a great stay. Food's in the fridge. Something's on the microwave. By the way, please don't fuck in my bed. I know you college kids get rowdy, you know? Like, you can make a light joke out of it. But still imply your will, you know? So, anyway. Let's see. Did you find it?
I'm scrolling like a fucking rabid possum looking for trash, dude. I'm just like, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I'm not seeing where he said this. I mean, I can go into his account. Hang on. I can go into his account and actually, all right, Atlas balls. That's funny. All right. Okay. So I'm looking at his comments here. They're talking about I'm sleeping on the couch that they may have also had sex on, but it's a leather couch and it's easy to clean. I'm not bothered by the idea of men having sex. If I was, I'd sleep in my fucking car. Okay, so he checks that out. Last time I checked, gay didn't mean just two guys. It also means two women. So no, I don't have a fear of gay sex. I'm just grossed out by male bodily fluids. Okay. You can love someone and not want to lie in their bodily fluids. That's fair. I just responded to someone else about this. If my wife had a younger sister and she was a lesbian, I wouldn't be this mad about it. So yes, I have a problem with double the amount of male bodily fluids. Okay. Nope. I'm sorry, dude. Whoops. I was trying to fight for you here, brother. I can't anymore. Like,
yeah. I think there might have been some deep-seated background, a little bit of phobia there.
It's not over.
Uh-oh.
I never said straight sex is better. I said if it was with a woman, it would be 50% less bad. If I had a sister-in-law and she was a lesbian, I wouldn't be this angry. It's the thought of male bodily fluids that repels me, and my brother-in-law happens to be gay, so it's twice as bad.
Phrasing.
Hey, Future Sam, zoom in real quick on me. Zoom in. Right here. Get the money maker. Zoom in right here. Yo, Atlas, you're a fucking asshole.
Everyone still sucks.
Everyone, everyone fucking sucks.
Look at that.
From the original post, dude, I had your back. The moment I read your fucking comments, dude. Skunks, bro? Dude? Hell no. Banana bread in the break room? Hell yeah. No, dude, oh my God. Everyone fucking sucks.
And with that bombshell, I think that's where we should end.
Yep.
Damn.
Everyone sucks.
Yep.
If you made it this far, put in the comments balls.
Put your favorite bodily fluid in the comments down below. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, let us know what you think in the comments down below if we got these right or not. Yeah, that was a big old flop around right there. Like, I had his back, dude.
Yep.
But
I could smell
it.
Sorry.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Let
us know in the comments what you think. If you don't have anything to say, drop your favorite emote. We'd love to see them. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Bye.
Bow. Bye.
Bye.